All right. Welcome to another Woods Report. So we still have issues with the computer, so we're just going live on YouTube until we get that straightened out.
I thought you would be ready to set it up because you said that you
No,
had.
no, it has to be per computer.
No. I thought you would be ready to have this one because this is all I had.
Oh no, I wasn't reminded, so I thought I was using the other computer we had
At the store. When I was at the store calling you about the new one, I had the one that I was trading in.
All right, well, a lot going on, but for now, the big thing is, and I actually posted it on Facebook, is this whole back and forth with trans cis women being called a cis woman versus being called just a woman. And this all started with Jess Hilarious, the comedian, and T.S. Madison, who's a trans woman.
Which one is the one on the right?
This is T.S. Madison. That's Jess Hilarious. So they can't see.
No, me. Me. Which one is
this?
The transgender?
This. Oh, you don't even know the difference.
That thing is in the front of the one.
There you go.
I'm assuming the one on the right is the transgender. Am I wrong?
No, that's Jess Hilarious.
Oh,
who a lot of people always think she a man. So
I'm not alone.
Right.
Okay.
And that's funny you said that because that's part of the argument that they have. Mm-hmm. T.S. Madison cracked on Jess Hilarious and was like, in paraphrasing it, you mad because some people probably think you trans because you look like a man.
So on the left side, that's a transgender?
Yeah, that's T.S. Madison.
Oh, okay.
Well, trans woman, I guess. That's yeah. Okay. And then, so anyway, so this from Hollywood Unlocked, they reported, a lot of people reported it, but Hollywood Unlocked is the one I'm looking at now. Mm-hmm. It says comedian actor Jess Hilarious and transgender TV personality actress T.S. Madison. Now, it's funny how Jason Lee is the person that runs Hollywood Unlocked. And he said transgender. I said that on Facebook and somebody said you're not supposed to say transgender. See, that's what I'm saying. They said that's an offensive term.
So what are they?
Well, I said, can you tell me if you're not supposed to say transgender, what are you supposed to say? And that person never answered back. They probably was just being stupid. But he just said it and he's gay. He said transgender. But anyway.
Jason Lee is gay.
Yeah. But he said T.S. Madison have a heated debate after Jess initially reacted to a trans TikToker claiming biological women don't own periods nor womanhood. So there was some TikToker that went on and basically she's a trans woman and she was saying she's sick of, I'm paraphrasing it, she's sick of women, cis women, I guess that's who we are, cis women, that's what they call us, born women, thinking we have a lock on periods and womanhood, on what womanhood is. Yeah, we do.
Because we got a womb.
Because we're women.
We have a womb. We got a female organ, right?
I don't know why. I think whenever people talk about this, people automatically assume that you are what is it when you racist or not racist, prejudice against people that's transgender. And you don't have to be prejudiced against people that's transgender to not agree with everything that they say.
That's true.
That's the same thing I said when I don't agree that a transgender woman should compete in sports with other women. I just don't. I'm sorry.
And that's not knocking them generally.
You running as Usain Bolt in a wig. Yeah. No, you're not. And if you disagree, then stop having male running and female running.
Well, they can't stop that. That's how sports are now.
No, but I'm saying if you don't agree with, like Brittany, the one that was caught over in Russia that came back here. Now all of a sudden she believes that trans women or men should be able to compete in those sports. Well, then in that case, do away with the WNBA. Why are you having a separate basketball team if you think anybody can just compete? That's what I'm saying. They inconsistent.
Well, they gotta be careful what they say because she's playing in WNBA right now.
Exactly.
So she can't say do away with it.
Exactly.
So she's bread and butter.
So she's inconsistent. You're playing for a team that or league.
Well, what's wrong with saying even though you're playing for a team and you're playing for how it is? It's like in the time of racism, we dealt with the color fountain, but your fight was to make sure that it's not a colored fountain or white fountain anymore. But until then, you still went to the white fountain or the color fountain.
Oh,
so can you do that? Can you still want the change and trying to do things to make the change? But until the change happens, you're dealing with what's currently happening.
Well, back with this story. Things all began when a resurfaced old video of a trans TikToker named Blessing Rose. In the clip, Blessing said, "When the transphobia just comes out, the audacity and just the arrogance for cis women to believe that they own periods, that they own womanhood. You don't. You don't own periods. You don't own womanhood. You experience both, and both are different for every person. But as a cis woman, it doesn't belong to you, so you can't gatekeep it." Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can. Because you choose to transform yourself into being a woman. Mm-hmm. We're born this way. So yeah, we are gatekeepers. Yeah, pretty much. And we're not called cis women. We're called women.
What's cis? Is it
cis? Is I don't know where they got that from.
CIST or?
And then they try to say that that's a scientific term. Well, Homo sapien is a scientific term too, but we don't walk around calling ourselves Homo sapiens. So stop with this. We don't call ourselves mammals. That's all scientific terms. Get out of here with that.
Okay.
Woman, man, trans woman, trans man.
Okay.
I'm not calling you tick and tock and that and it and they and dar and thee and thous and hoes and yees and yays. All of the non-binary names.
What were they arguing about?
Well, Jess Hilarious took, she didn't like that transgender lady coming up and saying that. So she took to Instagram and said, who the F is this going to stand up? Who's going to stand up for us? Stand up for, women, real women, biological women, women who are born with all the parts that you guys wish that you were. Right. When does the delusion stop? What is the difference between you and someone who has been diagnosed to be mentally insane? The only difference is you don't have a straitjacket. Now, I don't agree with that. I don't believe just because you transgender that you mentally ill.
Ooh, she went that way?
That's how I think Jessica was saying it. And I don't agree with that. No. But what
she's probably thinking by the fact that you're going against what's natural.
Right, that you have some mental issue.
Wrong.
But what I do say is I agree with the fact that women, who's going to take up for women saying, no, we're not going to be called cis women. Mm-hmm. That's it. And they want us to respect them by saying, this is what you call me. Then you should respect biological women and say, this is what you call us. Mm-hmm. We're not called cis women. We're called women. Mm-hmm. And also, too, if you are a trans woman and you meet a man, you need to tell them that you're a trans woman.
Right. You're not born with the parts.
So why would you assume that you could just walk around and act like you was just born a biological woman and you don't have to? You shouldn't tell anybody that you was trans.
Do you still think you need to tell them even if you get the parts?
Yeah,
medically.
So if you was a man, right?
I just got my vagina.
If you was a man, a biologically born man,
okay,
and you met a trans woman, mm-hmm. and she had the operation,
right?
You would say, well, you don't need to tell him that you used to be a man. I think a man would want to know that and let him make the decision on whether he wants to be with you or not.
Okay.
I think you should tell even a woman, a biological woman with too much testosterone should say something. Let alone a trans woman.
Wow.
Remember Jerry Seinfeld, the lady with the big hands?
Yes.
He wanted to know before he met her. They was building this woman up. She was a model, mm-hmm. and he saw the picture. She was beautiful. Uh-huh. And then when he met her in real life, she had man hands.
Because when she would touch his face to being sexy, romantic, it was a big hand that would hit his face, and it wasn't romantic anymore.
I think she should have told him that before you meet him. Say, look, just so you know, I have man hands.
My hands are pretty large.
So if I think a biologically born woman should disclose information, What makes you think I'm not gonna think a trans woman should?
Are they back and forth because
you need to tell a man if you can't have kids?
I know.
Why would you think that's something you don't need to say?
You can't have them or you don't want them as well.
So they went back and forth. So then T.S. Madison came back and she says, there are so many real women that get mistaken for being transgender women. And that's where a lot of the anger comes from. I do hope they take a good look at how transphobia affects all women. That was an attack on Jessica. Just the fact that you just kept, when I showed you the picture, you didn't know which one was which. No, so T.S. Madison was cracking really on Jessica, saying you all this anger because people keep thinking you are trans. You look like a man in a wig. I look more feminine than you do. That's kind of what she's saying.
But even with that, let's just say for sake of argument, yeah, she's right. The real woman that she's talking about has a manly look about her.
Right.
But still, the argument goes, whether her manly look, whether she has beard, hair on her face, whether she has muscles in her arms, she was still born with the parts, the women parts that she can still take up for.
Right. Well, somebody said, they wrote underneath T.S. Madison's thing, I respectfully disagree. She wasn't speaking about being mistaken for a man, but that man saying that women don't own their periods, that honestly is just crazy because we most certainly do. I'm speaking of, and then T.S. replied, I'm speaking of her always having a tone towards transgender women. And she's admitted to being mistaken for one. Now, I agree with T.S. Madison. I told you I thought Jess was a little too tough on that, talking about mental and a straight jacket and all this. And I agree with T.S. Madison. You probably have all this anger because people keep thinking you transgender. Because Jess does have a hard face.
It's not really a soft feminine.
Yeah. So I think that's what that was. So, but people were saying T.S. Madison probably should have answered more general since she is a trans woman, generally saying the answer about that.
But
and not
she don't have all the parts then.
No, she did not get
She's
rid
like
of her.
Laverne Cox.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And the funny thing about it is, I think that's how trans women should be. I don't like mutilating your body. What is it? So having a vagina makes you a woman?
No.
Having a penis makes you a man?
But let's say, for sake of argument, the people that are doing the surgery.
See, I don't agree with
that.
Now
they feel like they've crossed the threshold.
I don't like that.
They have the same thing you were born with.
It's not. They don't
care how they got
you
it.
Might as well go and buy one.
They don't care how they got it.
I know. I'm just saying. That's why I love T.S. Madison, because she's honest with who she. This is how I'm born. This is me. But she's more feminine than a lot of biological women.
When I hear about people like her and Laverne Cox, I even get more frustrated because you're constantly hearing that politician girl who's a transgender,
right,
talking about all these young kids that are calling and depressed, and want to kill themselves because they can't have the surgery.
That's why I want T.S. Madison
to be spokesperson.
That's why I think T.S. Madison and them should be more outspoken about that, because to me, T.S. Madison has not had that, and she's, to me, is more feminine than a lot of biological women. That's what I'm saying. Having a vagina
more feminine than this chick.
Than Jess. I think that's what I'm saying. What does having a vagina make you a woman? Just like a penis don't make you a man. That you can go buy that. So I just feel like the whole argument. The fact is, I feel like people should be able to have open discussions without being called transphobia.
I think too,
transphobic.
We go back to what is a person. What's the word? What is your definition
of a woman?
And that's where it's a problem.
To me, a definition.
Some women will go into the private parts.
Right. I'm not. To me, I don't define a woman by breasts, because you can have cancer and have your breast cut off.
Okay.
Are you no longer a woman because you had your breast removed?
What defines a woman?
So to me, it's,
you can get your hair cut off and have no hair.
No. To me, what defines a woman and a man is biological, scientific. There is a difference biologically between a man and a woman, between your chromosomes. There is a difference. If you go and you die and you in the woods somewhere, your body goes away and there's nothing left but just your bones, they can bring you into the lab and do tests and say you was a woman or a man. They not looking at breasts and hair and all that other. They looking at your actual DNA makeup of who you are.
And the reason why I ask is that very definition that you just named, it could be a part of a number of definitions.
Yes.
What makes Laverne Cox and this lady feel like they are okay because they fit what they are
to me, it's a matter of perception. If you're born, it's like Beyonce said, she's a fat girl in a skinny girl's body. If she let herself go, that's it. She'll be probably 500 pounds because her inside, the way she thinks, the way she moves, the way she feels is like a fat girl. She could sit and eat pizza all day and do all kind of stuff, but she knows that if she did, she'll gain weight.
Okay.
So, or the same thing, Lizzo. I think Lizzo is a skinny girl trapped in a fat body.
Okay.
I think she's a skinny.
And a lot of people probably tease and get out, get me out of here, get me out of here.
So she's trying to work out. Lizzo. She's trying to work out to fit what she feels like on the inside. She wants to go jet skiing and jumping out of planes and all of this, but her body is stopping her from doing it. But in her mind, she's thinking, oh, this. So I'm thinking people who are trans, in their mind, they feel like they are something else trapped inside of this body. So they try to get the outside to fit what society says is what a woman is supposed to look like, or a man is supposed to look like. If you're a woman thinking, if you're a man, if you feel like you're a woman, you're a man inside, I'm supposed to look masculine. So I'm trying to make myself look masculine.
Right. Like the muscles in the chest, the abs.
Right. Whereas there's people like Prince wearing lingerie and he's born a man. You see what I'm saying? There's some men who look feminine and that's a man. No, he's still a man.
A lot of transgenders though. And is that what T.S. Madison is calling herself?
Yeah, she's trans. She says trans.
A lot of them, when you do hear about the transitioning, they do start with the breasts.
T.S. Madison did get her breast done because society says if you want to be a woman, you should have breasts. You should look just like the opposite. When women want to say they're a man, they get their breasts taken off.
Yeah, they don't want to keep the big boobs, saying that they are a man, but yet the one that got pregnant.
That's what I'm saying. It's so crazy. Why can't you just have breasts and still say I identify as a man?
But still, there's
some fat men with breasts.
Yeah. I feel bad for them too, but you be like seeing them shake and you like, ooh. Wow.
They just a man. They're a man with breasts.
Yep. So I don't know.
I just feel
it's
like
all in perception.
It's all. That's what I just said. It's all in how you perceive yourself.
Okay.
So but the bottom line is, you keep that over there. Don't be calling us something because you want us to be able to fit in your crazy world that you got going on.
It's so funny that they're trying to change our something where if you would believe in the history of mankind, we were created first.
Yeah, women
argue about that. A man and a female was created first. So somebody can say, well, transgender was around the tree.
It's the same concept that people say, well, what's straight? What's gay? So that mean I'm crooked? Yeah.
Well, you know what?
It's straight and then it's gay.
That can go on the opposite side because you always go Adam and Eve, Adam and Steve, and
because how would the world go if it was just man and man,
two men at the same time,
or two women?
I don't know.
So yeah, I'm done with this.
Okay.
Even in animal kingdom, understand that. Yeah, there's a penguin to pop up every once in a while and be with the same one, but for the most part, it's male penguin and female penguin. And if he shows up if it's a male penguin and he shows up with his male penguin, we're fine with that.
Yeah,
but don't think that that's not gonna fly with everybody being like that, because then we'll die off if we all thought like that.
But see, they'll start thinking like this chick did. There's something's wrong with them.
See, I don't like when Jess Hilarious said that.
See, she did that. So
yeah, I don't like that. Okay. To say that the difference between you is that they and the mentally ill patients that they have a straitjacket. I don't like that. And I agree with TS. That's why TS Madison came back and said you like a man. Yeah. That's why you mad. Because everybody keep thinking you're trans. Okay. So Wendy says, hello, ladies. That's it. I'm tired of these people so sensitive and so critical. Emerald says, hey, ladies. Hey. I agree with you, Kim. If you get admitted into a hospital, you need to tell them what you are for medical reasonings. Mm-hmm. Wendy says T.S. Madison still has, what does that say?
Porn
fix on the internet as a man. Oh, yeah. And Emerald says, hi, Wendy. Yeah, T.S. Madison used to be a porn star.
Really? A male?
Mm-hmm. Male and female and trans. Both.
Oh, okay.
Whatever. Okay. So your stuff gonna find you now. That don't matter whatever you do. People gonna always go back and see all your stuff. So okay. But yeah, so that's all I'm saying is we're not cis women. And then people say, well, what's the big deal? If you can call me a cis woman, I don't care, woman.
I wouldn't.
I'm not calling myself a cis woman. So just so you know. And if you roll me in the hospital, I'm not going to say I'm a cis woman.
You think the younger generation?
I'm going to say I'm a woman.
The younger generation is using those terms?
Yeah, this young generation. I don't know, man. Sometimes I get nervous because there's some stuff about them that I love, that they're advanced more than we are, free, but then there's some things where they are just dumb. And I'm trying to understand, are they going to survive?
And they're dumb. If everybody thinks the way they do, I guess they will. And the few smart ones that will stick out, they'll stick out and keep on soaring, while the other ones just be like quack, like the turkeys.
Like they don't have any
flying with the eagles, and there's not many eagles out there.
They don't have any like reasoning skills, like skills where you like logic and like it's I don't know. I'm just nervous about that. And then they changing history in school. They all gonna be just stupid.
I guess
like you're gonna say something like these are slave shoes, and they're gonna be like, I thought they were real shoes.
But remember,
that's what we learned in school.
Told you, I don't think they think the way we do when it comes to race. Especially when you got, and I was just thinking this the other day.
But history is history.
It don't matter about history. They don't care about history.
But if you don't know
with them,
if you don't know history, if you don't know history, you're doomed to repeat it.
I know, but don't always think that we're doomed to repeat it.
Yeah.
If you got a mindset that don't think of how race is. When you go to some other countries too, they treat race differently than some of us that come from America. But for some reason, the 20-year-olds, the teenagers, by being with a multicultural and mixed, some of them biracial from different kind of families where there's like 5 different generations of stuff, they don't think about race the way we do. So a lot of times they don't value history and all that we've done and learned. And like even the if you were to talk to a teenager now about what we had to go through to vote, they'll just kind of look at you like, okay.
No, I'm sorry.
And they'll walk away, and you're like,
right. You're saying
have died for you to have the right to vote.
You're saying what I'm saying, and I'm saying it's not good.
I know. It's unfortunate, but
that's not good.
That's not
because then what happens is you end up with the Supreme Court that's there, and they totally are opposite of what you think. And then you get mad and wonder why laws are being changed around you.
Well, I think
because you're dumb. You don't understand how things work.
That's why I thought about the children of Israel and that mindset dying in 40 years. 40 years is going to be a new Supreme Cort.
Yeah.
It may not even, it won't be none of those old
It won't
people.
Even be 40 years. They old. Yeah. Some of them 80 years old.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, but if you don't understand that, a new Supreme Court justice will be put in that's young. And in 40 years, it will still be the same Supreme Court because you don't understand how it works. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
you have to know that. But that's our fault. That's our fault. Because our grandmother made sure that our mother, they knew how to, you know what I'm saying? Like they knew, they wasn't dumb.
They learned the skills.
The civil rights people came under the leadership of our grandmother. You know what I'm saying? Respect, honesty, learning that you have to fight for what you want, work hard, get out, do what you need to do to get done. Those people raised our parents. And my parents were the civil rights people. Mm-hmm. Then came your generation, and they got dumber. All it was
you said my generation came in, and what does that mean about yours?
Worse. That's what I'm saying. Each generation gets dumber and dumber. Your generation, what's his name? George Clinton, guy walking around the stage wearing a diaper.
Got dumber. I think it took 2 generations.
What did y'all do?
I think even after you, the generation started getting a little bit weaker. Our generation was doing my mom's was doing the civil rights.
What did y'all do?
Mine was being revered after the civil rights. My generation benefited from the civil rights. Yours did too. A lot of people started walking into their the plans of what civil rights was supposed to do. So I don't think it started to get dummied down until after your generation. They don't think right no more. Like even look at our kids, go another generation our younger cousins.
Our kids are dumb. The 40-year-olds, the 30-year-olds.
My grandchild.
Oh no, they out of here. I said in the 30s something. I'm trying to get where it just went.
My grandchildren are like weak.
Oh, those are nincompoops.
They're knuckleheads.
But I'm saying, because they was come from our kids. Our kids would be 40-year-old right now. You see what I'm saying?
Then what did your kids not teach?
We dropped the ball. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Yeah. We dropped the ball. Our generation dropped the ball. And that ball's been rolling downhill ever since.
That's why you and I are so surprised when we talk to some people like our younger cousins.
And they got sense.
And they purchased homes.
You know why?
Businesses.
Because they were raised by people who still had those old mindsets. Think about the cousins who have sense, and think about their parents. See, their parents still hold on to those values and those things that their moms taught them. Mm-hmm. Everybody don't have that now. Mm-hmm. You see? So this just gets worse and worse. But then I don't want to just throw everything away from them.
Don't throw the baby
there's
away
positive about the young generation too. They're fearless. We were more fearful than they were. And the world is more open to them. They're more able to experiment more than we did.
And that's what they're doing. They're doing
exactly
everywhere, every area they're experimenting.
And I'm fine with that, but have some smarts with it, Okay. So I don't know. The best of both worlds is somebody who's young, who still has that young creativity and fearlessness, but yet holds on to some tradition from the past. And I'm afraid because that's going away.
Yeah.
They just to be a bunch of dummies. What's the next one going to be? The dummies having dummies. The little ones right now.
If they're dummied down. But there's always going to be a ram in the bush. There's always going to be a diamond in the rough.
Yeah. All right. Emerald says, my problem with the Supreme Court is that they stay until they die instead of integrating younger justices. I agree.
Like a certain time frame after, like when we were at our jobs, we even go so long to our jobs, then they should be let go.
All right. Well, speaking of let go, Joe Biden.
Why? What happened?
No.